Hi, my name's Allie Frame. I've been a member of the swim team since 8th grade. When I first joined the team, I was very new to the sport. Turner welcomed me to the team and helped me become the swimmer I am today. I have never met someone who is so dedicated to his team and his sport in general. I never got to tell him how much of an impact he made on my life. He taught me how to truly love a sport. He taught me how to put my whole heart into this sport. He made swimming more than just a sport to me. It was a place where I would get a quick history lesson before I would start a set, where I would hear multiple times a day how terrible music is these days. Turner won't be with me for my senior season, but during every set, he will be in the back of my head, yelling, "Last one, fast one." He'll be with the team at every meet, cheering us on like he did every single day. Not a day will go by that I won't miss stopping to see him in his room or sitting and talking to him after school about how hard practice would be that day. I would give anything to walk into his room one last time and he will forever be in my heart. I swim now is for Turner. Thank you.
My name is Kaci Owens. Turner. Need I say anything more? His professionalism, humility, and excessive knowledge were pretty hard to miss. I had the pleasure of meeting him when I started varsity swimming in 8th grade. He was receptive, supportive, and encouraging, which made my entrance to the team not only easy, but fun. Turner was not just a coach, he was my friend. For all of us who knew him, we knew that he had a unique passion for everything he did, in the classroom, in the community, and especially at the pool. He had a subtle yet quirky sense of humor, which showed itself rather rarely, but one was lucky to be around when it did. Turner took a small swim program and turned both the girls and the boys teams into respected opponents. Not one to gloat, but I have to think one of his best seasons as a coach was this past one. Even through the pandemic, we managed to tie the Shenendehowa girls team, were first in the state in our medley relay, and had multiple school records broken. He was so proud of these accomplishments, not only because of the titles, but because we did our best, which in his eyes was far more important. On behalf of both of the teams, this upcoming season, and certainly every one after that, we will dedicate in honor of the best coach there ever was, Coach Turner. May we all approach every day with the same enthusiasm he displayed for teaching, coaching, and living. Turner used to always have us quote on the whiteboard every day in the pool, so here's mine for today. The idea is not forever, but to create something that will. I believe Turner did that right here in Burnt Hills. Thank you for your time and attention.
I'm Marley DeConno, and I was hesitant to speak today. Okay, is that better? Okay, I'm Marley DeConno, and I was hesitant to speak today, but after having Turner as not only my teacher and my coach, but also my friend, I had to take a step back and think about what he would have told me to do in a situation like this. I'm almost positive he would have said to go with my gut feeling, so here we are. When I think of Turner, the first word that comes to mind is genuine. He was someone you could always count on, whether it be for help with history or swimming or just life advice in general. He was such a mentor to many, and he was always there. He was one of the first people to get to school, one of the last to leave. You could find him in his classroom or the pool. Chances are that if you needed him, he'd be there. He was so dedicated, and you could tell how much he loved teaching and coaching, but he loved people even more. When he asked about your day, you could tell how much he really wanted to know the answer, and he was truly interested in hearing about it. Just recently, I went to him for some advice about a job interview at a restaurant. And the other day, I walked into his classroom and I told him that I had gotten it, all thanks to him. He said, "That's awesome, and you did that on your own, and I can't wait to come visit you, as long as you give me the best seat in the house," which made us laugh because it was such a Turner thing of him to say. And I know that he meant it. I know that if he gotten the chance, he would have been there for me, and that's the kind of person that he was. To me, he was the definition of integrity. If he said he'd do something, there's no doubt that he'd do it, and he had a special way of making people feel confident or comfortable. Personally, I'd get really nervous before swim meets, and on my way up to the blocks to swim, he'd say, "It's just water, they're just people, so get out there and make that time because I know you can, and you know you can." Even when I joined the team back in 8th grade, I felt immediately welcomed and as if it would be a safe space wherever he was. This year, I made the difficult decision to not swim because I knew that junior year would be really hard and I wanted to focus on my schoolwork. And he was supportive of that the whole time. He didn't make me feel guilty, or he didn't make me feel like he'd think less of me because of that decision. In fact, he encouraged me to figure out what would be best for me and do exactly that. He reassured me that even though I wouldn't be a part of the swim team this year, I'd always be welcomed either in the pool or room 235. He'd go that extra mile to motivate us to be the best versions of ourselves, either at the pool or in his classroom and just in life. I mean, look around and see how many people he had such a great impact on, and how in one short lifetime, how he impacted people to do their best. And that's something that was so special about him. He had faith in so many. He gave 110% of himself to everything he did, and that's something I hope to take with me for the rest of my life. Although he may not be here now, he'll be swimmingly with us forever. So life is so short. Do it for Turner, go that extra mile, and give it all you got because it would have made him so proud. Thank you.
Thank you, girls. Now I'd like to welcome juniors Jami Fuson and Rhianna Lara.
To Turner, who is someone who meant so much to me and left nothing but a positive impact on my life. I want to start off with all the things I wanted to tell you but never got the chance to. Thank you. Thank you for everything. You believed in me when I didn't even believe in myself and pushed me to accomplish what I didn't think I could. You shaped me into a better person. I was never able to tell you how much I appreciate everything you've done for me in both the classroom and in the pool. I would not be where I am today without you. You saw my potential and pushed me to help achieve many great accomplishments. There are so many amazing memories that I have with you. From you being one of the few people to laugh at my bad jokes, to the surprise on your face when you discovered I requested the song Walk It, Talk It by Drake and Migos. This can go on for a while. I remember how you kept asking me when I would be in 7th grade so I could join your varsity team. You were so excited and proud of your teams. I loved having you as a coach, home teacher, and most importantly, a mentor. Your passion for everything you did was remarkable. You were an inspiration and impacted not only me, but our whole community. Look around. There are so many people who you impacted that your legacy will live on in us. One of the many lessons you've taught me is that time is precious. Not just when you announced caps and goggles, ladies, to get us in the water on time so we can do all the sets, but also in life. You never know what's going to happen in the next moment. I will forever treasure the past 7 years I've known you and been able to spend time with you in the pool, in the classroom, or just around. I feel truly blessed and honored to have been a part of your life and to have you in mine.
Hi Hi everyone, my name is Rhianna Lara. While I'd only known Turner for a handful of years as a varsity swimmer and the boys' varsity swim manager of 2 years, it was more than enough to see his true character. In the sense of relationships with his students and swimmers, Turner welcomed everybody. It did not matter where you were from, what classes you took, or even what sport you played. He welcomed his students with open arms. For me, this meant an offer for a spot as the boys' team manager. As the season progressed, more and more time was spent on deck, just me and Turner. I was able to see who he was. Between the subtle roasts and the constant reminders of caps and goggles, I saw that Turner was an intellectual. He was among the most caring people that we, as a community, have ever known. He shared with me his passion for the sport, encouraging me to expand my knowledge, not only for swimming, but also in the sense of experiences. He persuaded me to join the girls' team that fall, even if it was only to try something new. I had wanted to stay where I was comfortable, right on deck with a stopwatch in my hand, where I was familiar, and Turner pushed me beyond that familiarity. Turner had set a goal for me at the beginning of the girls' season, to reach a sectional time in an individual event. I was thrown into so many events during the season, and just when I felt good about where I was, he threw me into the 500-yard freestyle, the longest of the varsity events. During my last individual swim of the season, I had beaten that goal that Turner and I had set for myself. I earned a sectional time in the 500, a goal that I hadn't completed in any of the other events that I felt comfortable in. Turner knew that I was capable of these things, but not only me. He knew that about every person he came across. With the opportunities that he offered, his role in students' lives was apparent. As a coach, as an educator, and most importantly, as a life teacher. I was shown encouragement, support, and even recognition in capacities I'd never thought were possible. And I realized that the world needs more Turners. The world needs more people who bring passion to everything they do. More people to encourage others to come out of their shells, to push them out of their comforts, even if to only try something new. More people to lead and act with inspiration. Turner's inspiration not only reached me, but it reached his athletes, his colleagues, his friends, his family, his community, and even people he hadn't met. His legacy holds far, and it is important that we keep him not only in our thoughts and in our memories, but that we also keep him in our actions. We must carry on his leadership. We must carry on the significance that he held in his everyday presence, his respect for everyone around him. We must carry on these beliefs and principles that he held so dearly to him, that we help others swim along the same way that Turner did. Thank you.
Thank you, Junior Owen Emerich, for that moving tribute. I'd like to now introduce one of our varsity girls swim team captains and senior Morgan Felix, and our varsity boys swim team captain, senior Alex Farmer.
Dear Mr. and Mrs. Turner, my name is Morgan Felix. I want to share with you the impact that your Matt and our Turner had on my life. I started swimming later than most. Growing up with a college swim coach and a former college swim coach, I had always avoided swimming. I never wanted the pressure that I thought my parents would put on me, but they eventually convinced me it would be good for me. On August 17, 2017, my dad and I walked onto the pool deck and Coach Turner hurried over, obviously interested. That's when my life changed forever. Now I'm a psycho swimmer. Swimming is my life. It's made me the person I am today more than anything else. I look back at my timid 9th grade self and I realize that if than Turner, I probably wouldn't be a swimmer today. Coach Jerry, my club coach, would have scared me half to death. My dad, the Union College swim coach, would have made me want to quit immediately, but not Turner. He had a way with new swimmers that showed he cared for you and only wanted to help you become the best possible swimmer you could be. He showed so much support for me and so many other new swimmers when we couldn't even make it through a practice. As my swimming career progressed, I recognized that at every practice, Turner was going to be doing everything in his power to help you get better. This included showing up at the school for 6 a.m. doubles, even when I was the only one there. He always encouraged and believed in me, even when I didn't believe in myself. After my junior season, I confronted Turner about the fact that I didn't make any of the A relays. But he saw potential in me and inspired me to train harder than I ever had before. This year, I have the pleasure of saying that I was on the fastest 200 medley relay that Turner had ever coached, not to mention fastest in the state. It will always be something I remember fondly about my last season with him, a memory and experience I will take with me to my collegiate team next year. Not only did Turner and I have a strong relationship as coach and swimmer, but our friendship grew when I lifeguarded the pool with him coaching the boys. We had hours worth of conversation, which helped me love life even more. 2 hard things for me is that I won't be able to tell him how I swim this spring or where I will be going to college. I saw Turner as a coach, mentor, and friend. Mr. and Mrs. Turner, your son was one of the best people I've met, and I will never forget my time with him. With all my love, Morgan.
Hi, I'm Alex Farmer. When I think about Coach Turner, there's so much I could say. I know a lot of us have had him as a teacher and understand the positive effect that he has had on so many of his students. But in the short time I have, I want to talk about his dedication as a coach. Last Friday, on the day before our championships, Turner was out of school because he didn't feel well. At this point, we were all worried because in the 5 years I've been on the team, I've rarely seen him miss a practice. When he was out, he sent me a text, and this text said, "Captain Alex, unfortunately, I don't feel well, and I will not be there today and most likely tomorrow. Coach Francois will be filling in." He then proceeded to give me the set for practice. It is apparent in his misspelled words, a mistake I had almost never seen Turner make in his life, that he was struggling to send this text. I think that this shows his dedication to the team, and even that when he was not well, he made sure we knew what to do for practice. This dedication was present all year, whether it was working to make sure we could still have a pasta party or surprising us with pizza at practice. Coach Turner poured his heart into making sure everyone on our team felt welcome and created a space for improvement. I will never forget his dry wit and perfect timing whenever he delivered a joke. One of the things I remember most from last year is when we were on the team was acting a little crazy, and one of the administrators came in and he told us to stop acting like idiots. Turner's response to this was, "They may be idiots, but they're my idiots." I think this shows the family environment that Turner created with the team, and I just want to say I've learned so much from Turner, and I know I can speak for our whole team when I say you will never be forgotten. Thank you.
I'd like to thank Mr. Turner's family for making the trip to be here today and introduce his brother, Luke Turner.
Good afternoon. Thank you all for being here today. My name is Luke Turner. Second from the top, third from the bottom. That's how I'd introduce myself when somebody asked me if I was a Turner boy and which one. I'd like to start off by introducing my family that was able to make it here today, just so everybody knows who everybody is. Obviously, my father, Mark, my mom, Linda, next, like I said, I'm in line, my wife, Lauren, and my oldest daughter, Julia, and the youngest daughter, Nora, is here today. Then I have my brother, Johnny, his wife, Elaine, and his two sons, Martin and Jack. Last but not least, my brother, Andrew, his wife, Jamie, his son, Stanley, and the most recent Turner, Ellie. Matthew also has a grandmother that could not be here today, uncles, aunts, and a lot of cousins that I'm sure would love to be here but couldn't make it. First, I'd like to thank the principal, Tim, teachers, staff of Burn Hills and Boston Lake High School. They have helped our family the last couple of weeks more than you know. Second, I'd like to thank the students that have posted, written, and paid tributes to honor my brother. Lastly, to all of his friends in the community that treated Matthew like his family over the years while he established his roots here in Burn Hills, New York. Today we're here to celebrate the life of Matthew, new beginnings, with spring coming, Easter right around the corner, I thought I'd share a joke. Some of you social studies teachers might have heard this one. April showers bring May flowers. What do May flowers bring? Smallpox. I was going to share that one with him. We often kind of joked around like that. I know it's been a tough year for everyone while we navigate this pandemic with virtual school, missed dances, missed sports, just miss hanging out with friends, family. It's not easy. But as they say, life's not easy. I know the loss of Matthew It's going to leave a hole in this community and in this school. His loss is also going to leave a hole in our family, in our hearts. But it's up to us to fill this void with hope, with love, with kindness. He would want that. So next time you see someone sitting alone at the lunch table, ask them to come over and join. Next time you're at the cafe, buy your neighbor a cup of coffee, chat with them a while. Volunteer in your community, in your church. Be a better citizen. Fill the sense of loss with a sense of new beginnings, with new experiences, new adventures. He would want that. You know, for all my life, I've known Matthew. He's my big brother, friend. I have lots of stories. Lots of stories. But I'll share this one. In the summer of 2003, I was walking the Appalachian Trail. And when my brother said, when you get up this way, just give me a call, and I'll come get you, and we can hang out. So it was in Kent, Connecticut, and I was beat. It was hot. I was tired. I was like, I'm going to use that brother card. So I gave him a call. He came, picked me up. When I called him, I also had to break the news I was going to bring somebody with me. He's like, all right. Well, Matthew is the first one to meet my wife and my family. He picked us both up, dirty and stinky. Definitely needed a shower. Took us back to his place. He let us do our laundry. We went to Bayou. We went to a number of places to eat. Had a great time that weekend. As he was getting ready to take us back to the trail, which he's done so many times over the years. I pulled Matt aside and I asked him, what'd you think of Lauren? He said, she seems very smart, well-mannered, good-looking. It's only one thing I'm trying to figure out. Why is she hanging out with the likes of you? That's his humor, for sure. He's definitely going to be missed. But as I said before, we got to fill that void and move on. Again, I'd just like to thank everyone that came out here today and has reached out over the last couple of weeks to my family, myself, to help us over this time. I'd like to introduce my brother John. He'd just like to say a few words. But again, I appreciate everything that you all have done. Thank you.
Thank you all for being here today. My brother Matthew had a real passion for teaching others about the past with hopes they would take that knowledge and make a better future. He was fast-paced, eager to learn new things, embrace new challenges, and challenge ideas. If Matthew is here today, I think he would say, continue to improve, make it count for the greater good, and do your best in whatever your life's pursuit. He certainly did. I loved you, Matthew. We loved you, and you will be sadly missed. Thank you.
I'd like to introduce our Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Patrick McGrath.
In 1915, the Burn Hills-Boston Lake Central School District became the first consolidated school district in the state of New York. And it was the desire of our community to work together to create a great education system right here in these rolling hills and orchards and trees and fields in this small town. To create an environment where the students of this community could learn and grow through 12th grade without having to leave the community for their education. In order to make this vision a reality, they wrote policies, they built buildings, they elected a school board. Most importantly, though, they hired teachers. They looked for the best possible individuals that they could find to come here and teach our kids. That incredibly important and central mission has not changed for over 100 years. Our founders, our forerunners, and our leadership today know that we need to find the best teachers if we want to give the best to our students. That is why, in 2000, we asked Matt Turner to teach here. It was a blessing and a great honor that he said yes, and he came here to teach our students for the past 2 decades. Psalm 90 talks very specifically about the span of our life here on this earth. It says, "Teach us to number our days, that we may apply our hearts to wisdom." We are reminded that it's not the quantity of our days on this earth, but the quality that matters. We're encouraged here to live one day at a time, to value every day, to focus on that task at hand, to seek meaning and understanding in each moment, and to cherish each relationship and to learn from each experience. So that in the time we have here in this life, we can gain wisdom. It seems to me like that is how Matt lived his life, focusing on each person, each task, each experience, one at a time, growing in wisdom with every day. In so doing, Matt met and far exceeded what we expected when we asked him to come teach here at Burn Hills-Boston Lake. And we want to thank him and honor him in a significant and lasting way for what he did here. Board of Education Policy 7500 provides a means by which the school district can give special recognition to individuals who exemplify the mission and purpose of BHBL by permanently naming a facility in their honor. This is a serious and deliberate process. The board does not take it lightly. The board considers the following criteria in naming a school facility after an individual: long-standing service to the district, outstanding contribution to the school or district, significant contribution to the education of youth, exemplary record of service, extraordinary abilities as an educator, significant accomplishment in the profession locally or on the state or national level, local or national prominence, and service on the Board of Education. Short of serving on the school board, Matt meets every criteria. The policy and the accompanying regulation lay out a formal process but which must be followed in order to permanently name a facility. I spoke with the Board of Education on Wednesday evening, and they fully support the plan to begin the process of permanently naming our aquatic facilities after our friend, our colleague, teacher, and coach, Matt Turner. So on behalf of the school board and the community of the entire Burnt Hills Boston Lake Schools, I want to express my deepest and most heartfelt sympathy to Matt's family. Thank you for coming to join us and helping us as we go through this. We thank you for Matt. We're so grateful for the example that he set for us of cherishing and valuing his days in service to our students, and in so doing, growing in wisdom and then sharing that wisdom with all of us. We will honor his memory and learn from the many lessons that he taught. Thank you.
I would encourage everyone here to take part in some of the community events coming up in the next few weeks to continue to honor Matt's legacy. Stop by the Burnt Hills Cafe on Tuesday for their Tuesday for Turner program, in which free coffee, tea, cocoa, and drinks are available for their patrons in Matt's honor. Our international club has dedicated April as a Book for Turner month, in which students will read a history book, leave some comments on a banner for Mr. Turner in his memory. To conclude our ceremony today, our girls' swim team will do a balloon release before we proceed inside for the tribute. So if we could have the girls maybe stand up so that the balloons don't come under here. In memory of our teacher and our coach, our friend, our colleague, and our family member, Matthew Turner. That concludes the outdoor portion of our ceremony today. The students have a tribute set up in Mr. Turner's honor within the building, and we welcome everyone to come in and view. COVID protocols require that we respect social distancing within the building and that masks are worn at all times. Unfortunately, we have to limit the number of people in the building in order to comply with the COVID regulations, so we ask that people move through in a timely manner. Restroom facilities are available just inside the door for your use. Thank you for your attention to these guidelines and for your attendance here this afternoon.
Turner, thank you for being the best mentor in swimming, school, and in life. And thank you for making sure we have our caps and goggles ready for swim practice every day. We really appreciate everything you've done for the community, for the swim team, for school, and we admire your dedication to it all. We will continue to live swimmingly for you every day. We miss you.
Mr. Turner pushed for us to be the best that we could be and always encouraged us on ideas we were passionate about. We'll miss you.
I remember a couple years back, we're taking the AP World exam. Mr. Turner was walking around. He comes up to me. I had this Waterloo record shirt on, and he said something along the lines of, "Boy, I sure hope no one cheats off that." And it's just small memories like that that really remind me of him. So I just want to take a minute to thank you, Mr. Turner, not only for your jokes, but for your guidance as well as being a teacher. Thank you.
It's cut
It's the end. The end is near. What are you cake? Thanks for the memories, Mr. Turner.
Mr. Turner made Civitas an amazing club and pushed me to be the best leader I could be. We'll miss you.
Mr. Turner was a great man and a great teacher. He was loved by everybody around him. He cared so much about his students and his community, and he was so passionate about teaching and learning and education. He always had a smile on his face, and he was always optimistic, and that's one of my favorite things I learned from him. Even when it was hard, he taught me how to be happy and how to smile and how to look forward to the best. So thank you for that, Mr. Turner, and thank you for touching the lives of everybody you came near.